welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Rose, and today I'm going to be walking through how I'm budgeting my paycheck for August 15th, 2024. So I've recently made some changes to my budgeting approach because my last budget was, I'm going to say, an eye-opener for me, even though I've been on this journey since January. But each budgeting period, I get to learn something new. So I'm excited to share these changes with you. So let's dive right in. Okay, so you are looking at my budget worksheet as well as my reset worksheet. So my reset worksheet is where I did an overall of our monthly income without any extra income. So the monthly income is going to be base $6,500. We are paid twice monthly, on the 15th and again on the last day of the month. On the 15th, the paycheck is a little bit bigger than the last paycheck, the paycheck for the last of the month. So on the 15th, we will get base pay $3,318.93. And on the last day of the month, it's going to be $3,181.07. Now you are seeing where I am in the deficit for $710 monthly, which is going to be broken down to $286.07 for the 15th budget and $423.93 for the 31st budget. But I'm going to be seeing how I can work around these deficits so I can stay within budget. So what I did, and this was the best method, I tried seeing how I could probably pay in full for some of the essentials with the first paycheck and then do that with the last paycheck. But it's not working out because a deficit is a deficit. It is what it is. So I decided to go fully with the split pay method just to make things a little bit easier for us. All right, so for rent, it's $24.31. So it's going to be $12.15 and 50 cents each pay period. I already had auto loans and personal loans on the split pay method. So those you are already used to seeing me doing the split pay method. So for cell phone, my section of the cell phone bill is $150 give and take. So $75 each period. For auto insurance, I already put that on the split pay method. That's going to be $230 for each period. For life insurance, I'm budgeting $50. It's outside of the US, so depending on the exchange rate, it'd probably be a little bit more than 50, it'd probably be a little less than 50. So I'm budgeting 50, and that's $25 each pay period. For grocery and household items, I have $400 here, but this is definitely going to be flexible. This is definitely going to be flexible, as you know, so I'm just keeping it there as $400. I might have to spend less, and that's what I'm aiming for. For credit cards, which I'm definitely working on trying to get those down, I'm budgeting $275 each pay period. And for fuel, $100, because like I explained in previous videos, I'm fully remote now, so I don't need to be buying gas as much. So fuel is just going to be covering my husband to and from work. All right, so that's $3,605 each pay period. So I am moving over to the utilities, and I make sure that I put the utilities separate because the utilities are the kids' responsibilities. So moving forward, it is a priority that we must generate some more income. I did insinuate in the last video that it's definitely a cash flow problem, and now I've confirmed that it is a cash flow problem. All right, so we definitely need to be generating more income. So my husband will see how much he will be able to do some overtime to cover these. Okay, so let's get into budgeting the paycheck for the 15th. All right, so before I get into budgeting, I am going to be transferring this $97.87 into this pay period because it wasn't used. So I am looking for expense cushion, and I'm going to be removing this $97.87 so I can have my June 31st budget sitting at 0 right here. Next, I will just go over to, let me close this one. All right, so now I have a full screen. Okay, so I'm rolling over $97.87, and combined income was $4,125. I should have broken this out to show the overtime, but I did not. Alright, so when I'm doing the update for this budget, I'm gonna break this out to show the exact amount for overtime. Alright, so we are budgeting $4,198.12. And like I said, everything is gonna be on the split pay method. Okay, so rent is gonna be equal to $12.50. I will not be budgeting for water, security, cell phone. No, I need to budget for cell phone, my $150, and internet. So what I'm going to be doing is to just allow the girls to go ahead and pay the utilities on their own. So instead of me budgeting, and then my budget is always going to be showing a deficit for a huge amount, I'm just going to take these out of my budget and allow the girls to deal with the utilities on their own. Okay, so internet 0, 0, 0. Car insurance, because I put it on the split pay method, I don't have a payment due on the 15th. The first payment for the new change is going to be due on the 1st of September. All right, so let me skip over car insurance and go over to groceries and fuel. Fuel is 100. Groceries I'm going to put at $150. Medical copay expenses, I do have an appointment, but it's going to be virtual, so I don't need to pay a copay. So I'm going to put 0 here, and I am going to be putting back this $60.25 that I budgeted from the last period back into prescription, because my husband still needs to get his prescription, and this amount was left over for him. So I'm putting it back here in the prescription line item. Okay, let me just go over the housing and general expense category, make sure that I captured everything that I need to. So I did rent, I did cell phone, I am not going to do car insurance. All right, so I'm budgeting $1,675.75 for the housing and general expense category. For virtual sinking funds, I'm not going to put anything here. No, I need to put $19 for virtual sinking funds. I do have my pest control on sinking funds, so you know what, I'm going to put the $19 there for that. I need to refill my emergency account, but because of how the budget is right now, or how the cash flow is right now, I'm going to try out this method and see what's going on, and then see how much extra income we can generate, and then devise a plan to replenish my emergency fund. So for now, I'm going to put 0 here. And as always, I leave the expense cushion blank until the end of the budgeting period. We have no activities planned for personal and discretionary, so I'm just going to fill these slots with zeros. And moving over to the debt section, car number 1 is $244.19. Car number 2 is $230.94. For credit cards, let me go over to the consumer debt tracker, and that's $435.18. $435.18 plus, let me take this amount out, if I can get the correct thing here. $151.56 plus $435.18. That's $587. So $587 is going towards credit cards. For personal loan number 1 is $620.37, and for personal loan number 2, it's $383.16. Nothing is gonna be going to extra debt payment. And for subscription, I'm gonna budget $15 for subscription. Okay, so let's go back to the top. And there is $422.72 left over. So I accounted for rent, which is $1,215.50. That's going to be a half of September's rent. Cell phone, $450. That's due on the 20th. I am just place it zeros in the line items for all my utilities and have the girls take care of that. All right. So if they do give me the money, I'll probably just fill it in. Or because I don't know why they don't like to go pay bills. They don't like to do it, but I want to get them in the habit of doing it. So it depends. So let's see how that goes, and then I'll be able to fill that in if needs be when I'm doing my update. For life insurance, I do need to put this $25 here for life insurance because it's gonna be due on the 28th. Nothing for pest control. For lawn service, I need to budget $70 for lawn, fuel, groceries, and prescription. So the housing and general expense category is now $1,770.75. All right. For sinking funds, that's gonna be my pest control coming up in September, and I'm budgeting $19. No activity is planned for personal and discretionary. For debts, it's gonna be $2,065.66, and for miscellaneous, it's $15 budgeted. Okay, so I do have this $327.72 left over right here, and what I'm gonna do is put it in the expense cushion line item. Why is it saying I am short? I have a penny left over. It's supposed to be 73. Let's see what's going on here. 327.72. Okay, so I'm not sure why this is saying a penny here, but I tried to figure that out. That's all that important right now. Okay, so I am down to zero based. I'm not in compliance with the zero based budgeting. All right, so there is one lesson that I learned just, I'm gonna say, about 2 days ago when I did the essential living cost reset. When we moved in May, before we moved, and I did an overall of what our expenses are going to be, my error was that I did not adjust my budget to be in alignment with what our new expenses are going to be. And that is why for the last couple budgeting periods, I was a bit flustered because I didn't align my true expenses with the budget. So I'm always running over the budget. So that's one lesson that I've learned, is when you have any changes at all financially, once you are in the habit of budgeting, once anything at all change, go right ahead and update your budget so that it reflects every changes along your journey. Because if you don't do that, you're going to be running in problems, just like I've been running in problems, even though there are known problems. But I kept asking myself, why? And the why is, before we moved here, we weren't paying this much in rent. So our rent has increased 100% or more than 100%, which is why we're having these issues. So lessons learned. All right, so that's it for budgeting my August 15th paycheck. Please remember, guys, that budgeting, it's not a one size fits all. And it's all about finding what works best for you and your family. And like I said, make adjustments as needed. That's a lesson that I learned, and something that I knew and I should have been doing, but I don't know why I failed to do that in recent times. Alright, so if you found this video helpful, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more budgeting tips. Also, to follow me along my journey of debt repayment so that I can be out of the land of living like a slave for those that I owe. And as usual, I'd be glad to hear about your budgeting journey, your methods, and please tell me what you think about this budgeting that I just did, the way that I've changed everything, and hopefully it works. All right, so until then, bye.